Hi, I've been working on my sermon this afternoon in my study, and I've got so excited with what I'm preparing and what I've been reading today that I just had to share a little bit of the introduction. I've been thinking about that phrase of A.W. Tozer. He says, what comes into our minds when we first think about God is the most important thing about us. What comes into our minds when we think about God is the most important thing about us. I don't know if you agree with that statement or not, but I do completely. Think about it just for a moment. What we believe affects our behaviour. Our core principles are based on our core beliefs, and our principles dictate how we live. Our core beliefs change what we value, who we value, the kind of people that we hope to be, and the kinds of things that we pursue and run after. They change us. We are what we believe. And this is so true when it comes to our thinking about God. What is God like? I suppose if we think that God is very stern and always angry, that his finger hovers over the smite button, we will think that God will act in particular ways. We might be fearful of coming to him, or believe that the world is a mess because he is an angry God. On the other hand, if we believe that God is some kind of overindulgent granddaddy figure who's never going to put things right, who's never going to bring justice to the earth, we won't care about how we live. We'll just do whatever we like. If we believe there is no God, or that many roads lead to God, we won't really think about him much at all. It won't matter so much to us. But what I love is that in the Bible, we see who God is really like. I was grateful for my friend Mark Lloyd. He's a vicar in one of the local villages, and he helped me understand the end of John chapter 20 as I'd never understood it before. We have Thomas, who is told by the disciples that Jesus is risen from the dead. And for a full 8 days, like some kind of cosmic Eeyore, he tells them he doesn't believe it. He says, unless I see it, unless I can put my fingers in his wounds, I won't believe. He's basically saying what many people say today, seeing is believing. When he sees Jesus, he falls down on his knees and worships him as God, my Lord and my God. This shouldn't have been a surprise to him. Jesus had said to him just days before, if you've seen me, you've seen God. But for Thomas, seeing was believing. Then Jesus says, well, blessed are you, Thomas, because you've seen and believe. But how much more blessed are those who haven't seen and yet believe? And that's you, and that's me. We haven't seen, but we've believed. But my friend helped me see the next verse in a new light, verse 31. But these things are written that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. Thomas says, seeing is believing. Jesus says, blessed are you who haven't seen and still believe. And John writes to us, I'm writing so that you will believe. You will know the truth about Jesus. So John is saying, reading is believing. So I hope you can join with us on Sunday as we unpack the third encounter of the risen Christ in what many people call the miraculous catch. It's a story of grace and love and redemption. And we see who God really is. I look forward to seeing you then. Lots of love.